So good.
This week has sucked.
Oh, this week has been the worst.
Joe Fisher, Rashad Taylor, Jordan Schultz across the glass. I think I got to Friday, and I was like, I'm over this. I'm over all this.
You made it to Friday? Before you were over it?
I think it was starting to creep in Wednesday, Thursday. I mean, Wednesday, Thursday, I was able to get around. But by Friday, like, there was just too many circumstances that I was just like, I'm done. Nope. I'm done with this BS. I'm done with this ice and this snow, quote unquote. We didn't even get that much snow. That's what pisses me off. Is like when I hear that there's snow in the forecast and then we get this, like, this ain't fun. Like, this ain't enjoyable.
I was over this
people
crap.
Dying out there. Our pets' heads are falling off.
I was over this crap by Tuesday. Because we forget, it starts snowing like last Saturday.
It was Saturday. Yeah, woke up Saturday morning to some snow. Basketball game got canceled for us. Like,
and then I'll go one further for you. And if you followed, our Twitter feed last week, then you would know this. So Friday, I test myself for COVID, and I've got COVID. And it wasn't like a faint line, like, oh, if you see like a small faint line, and that means you definitely have it. No, it was dark as hell. It was letting me know that, nah, bro, you got this. And it was the worst. So already we're going to be snowed in, and we know this. Now I'm going to be snowed in and snowed in alone, which was awful.
My little violin plays for you right now.
Oh, see, you know what I'm saying? Like, let it happen to you. Like, during the snow, like, it was literally the worst. Like, even if I wanted to, like, hey, man, why don't you come over and watch the game or something like that? Everybody's like, nah, they would have been like that. It was terrible. And then I would go through these super extremes. I feel great, no problem, or God, take me now, because this is terrible. It'd be one of those two. And that lasted for like 2.5 days. And then that snow hit, or the ice hit, and then the ice just kept hitting. They literally canceled school every day this week. I got that same email every day at right around 2:54 p.m. every day. Here comes the email from first Portland Public Schools and then Centennial saying, yeah, we can't do it. No school. Too icy.
What cracked me up was the Newburgh School District a couple times just being like, yeah, calling you 2-hour delay. And then a few hours later, they're like, yeah, we thought about it. We're not doing that.
By Friday, were they just kind of maybe being a little too cautious? Not just the schools, because I get it. There are kids involved. You don't want to ever be in a situation where we were a couple of years ago when kids are left on buses or in gymnasiums while teachers and parents can't get to them. I understand that, but like, businesses, it seemed like on Thursday, Friday, especially Friday, there was stuff that was closed that should not have been closed by 3, 4, 5 p.m. in the evening. I was trying to get dinner going, like, all right, I'm going to pick something up on the way home. And that seemed like a challenge. So that was my I'm done with this feeling. Like, by Friday, I'm like, shouldn't we all be back rolling by now? Like, people want to make money out there? I guess not.
I think Thursday, Friday, yeah.
I just sound like a jackass, and I apologize, but I guess I don't.
Thursday, Friday, I'm sure there were some business owners who are like, yeah, F this. We're going back in. Like, we're making this happen. There was this, was it Friday? Went to this little Vietnamese place off of like 23rd. And I was just like, so thankful they were open. That banh mi and that pho hit different that day.
I'm sure it did.
It was fantastic.
If you were looking for stuff open, Southeast didn't close down.
No, shout out Fire on the Mountain.
All, for whatever reason, man. So
those wings are delectable.
The Fred Meyer near my house was open for business, and it didn't close. So my mom was calling me, was like, I just went to the store and it was closed. And I was like, this one's open over here. And it's got tons of traffic and everything. Like, the only thing that closed were the essential places, which is basically weed and alcohol. Like, those are the two places that, and those
damn you dispensary,
those should never close. Like, I mean, shout out to Nectar for being open, through everybody's. Seriously, like, on Christmas they're open, on Easter they're open. Any one of the holidays,
they don't care. They make their people work.
During snow days, they show up.
Get your ass in there and you peddle that weed.
Hey, and guess what? When you're the only game in town, like, at that point, I'm sure they were making crazy bank. But
I was telling Jordan on Wednesday, like, if a DoorDasher out there has a snowmobile or something like that,
you're in the mix.
Busted out.
You're killing it. Yeah, you're getting those $20 tips per trip.
Yeah, I got DoorDash once, or Postmates once, and it took an hour and a half. Like after they got the meal, I kept seeing that Julia was
She was
Julia
struggling.
was 3 miles away with my stuff. Had another stop to make, and it took like an hour to get. So I was trying to give her some grace, but like my stuff was
Food was
hella
cold.
cold when I got it.
That is the downside of like any DoorDash or Uber. Even in I love ordering food. Convenience is awesome, having stuff brought to my door, but it doesn't arrive hot enough. And that it's like, you know what? Should I just go get it myself? So there's
Little
the chance.
soggy.
Yeah, soggy. It's a little bit, lukewarm. Like I just need to go
Don't order
grab it at the
something with
restaurant.
fries in it.
Yeah.
Like that's the
smart.
worst. Like if you're gonna order
Some
DoorDash,
soggy chips.
yeah, make sure you order something that's going to be okay once you put it back in the microwave.
Yeah.
You put it in the microwave or in the oven for a little bit, like you're not gonna be mad. But if you order anything that contains fries, you're screwed.
Well,
Fries
no-
are literally probably the best side, that you can have,
But they
they
do
do
not
not
last.
age well.
Nope,
Not necessarily. The air fryer is one of the best new age inventions. It really does, guys. From Taco Bell tacos to French fries, it will bring stuff back to
You're
life.
throwing a Taco Bell taco from
Hey
the
man,
night before.
Yes.
that's another one of those things.
Absolutely.
What about that
hard
lettuce?
taco?
What happens to that lettuce when you
No,
throw
I was
that in
thinking
there?
more of a soft taco. No. And you can't do the lettuce. That is disgusting
I was
after
gonna say,
like
I was
2
like, what
hours.
is wrong
Once
with you?
those hard
No, it's
tacos get
too
air fried tomatoes on your
gross.
on your
It might be good,
Taco
though.
Bell.
Bro, I was thinking like a cheese quesadilla.
Okay.
Not, I'm sorry I said a taco. 'cause
No, but I'm saying, but
that could
even
be
what
like
I
a
thought. I was like,
7-layer
what-
burrito.
But if we're
Yeah,
thinking
you
about
know.
it, like those hard tacos or taco supremes, like once those go from still kind of warm to they've been around for a little bit, like they're not very pleasant to eat either. So maybe putting that shell in the air fryer for a little bit could potentially
Oh no, it does.
bring that back.
It does.
So yeah,
My good sir, it makes
there's
it
a
okay.
lot of money that's going to be saved in the morning because usually when I have that extra taco in the morning or something, I'm probably not eating this. I'm tossing it.
Yeah, I played my sad violin for you, Rashad, but honestly, that does suck. I mean, if you're gonna have COVID during a certain time, I mean, an ice storm where you can't literally like walk anywhere,
Yeah,
I guess
man.
that's good.
Yeah,
but
it's pretty bad.
Well, I'm glad you're okay.
You got to have somebody
too.
bring you medicine or something like
Yeah,
that. And it's
and
like,
leave it
I
outside
can't
the
because I
door.
got, so
Yeah.
yeah. Shout out to mom.
Was it Sunday? Last Sunday, I had to get out of the house because of some things were happening on the TV that I wasn't really too stoked about.
Oh, we're gonna talk about it. You
too
better,
happy
yeah.
about. No, it was
Not shy away from that,
It
man.
was
We have
it
to
was
talk
so
about it.
long ago. I don't
Oh,
know if we
yeah.
have to.
Oh
I mean,
yeah, I think we do. We got to check on your friends.
So I had to leave the house and go to my local purveyor of booze in Newburgh, Social Goods, which has a ton of good beer. And so I went there. Was it Sunday? And then I went there Tuesday, and then I mixed it up. And Thursday went to this place called Barley and Vine in Newburgh. It's all along that downtown strip.
Oh, barley and vine's good.
Dude, shout out to them. That was the first time I ever went there because my son is he's 10 and an obvious picky eater. Like, hey, they got nachos there. No. And all the sandwiches are like fancy sandwiches like ham and brie or turkey and pesto.
Sounds delightful.
Oh yeah, sounds wonderful to me, but to a 10-year-old, it's just like,
You don't like a ham and cheese? Come on.
They did not have mac and cheese. No, over
Well, ham and brie is just ham and cheese.
Oh,
So-
I'm quite aware what ham and brie is.
Not,
but-
and not just your kid. It's like, kids, come on, just shove it in your gullet and eat it.
Oh, I know. There's plenty of times I want to do that and just force feed him, but that was it like Thursday night? I was like, okay, I can go there and by myself and enjoy a nice dinner and some beers, and they had some good beers there on tap. I'll tip of the cap to them, but yeah, it was definitely like being at home. I'm like, I'm good. I don't want to cook anymore. I don't want to do any more chores. Like, I need to get the hell out of here.
That's all I was able to do.
And so shout out to them. Shout out to the McMinimans 23rd Bottle Shop, because on Wednesday night, I had to go down there and get some beers for the hot corner, and luckily they were open too. So, I mean, any business that, made the call and was like, yeah, we're open. We're pulling the trigger. Thank God.
I know all those businesses are so pissed though, because when that phone rings during a snowstorm, you know what it's about.
Are they open?
We're open till this time to this time. They start just answering that during, man, thank you so much, because you knew exactly why I was calling.
McMinimans 23rd Bottle Shop open till 8. I'm like, perfect.
Thank you.
All right,
Thank
got
you.
it.
That was all I needed to know.
Love that
Thank you,
quick
Fred.
answer.
So yeah, no, only thing I could do was chores. So for the first couple days being sick, didn't do anything. And my spot looked like a trap house or a frat house. One of the two. Either way, it was bad. And
Some sort of smells emitting from different piles.
yeah, and I was
Little
like,
stale
all right,
in
man.
here.
I was like, all right, man, let me get up, did some laundry, clean the kitchen, mopped all the stuff. I just felt dirty. Like, that's what it was about having COVID. I felt so dirty. Like, I had something, which technically I did, but it
Yes.
was just kind of one of those things. It was like, the way people treated a lot of diseases, like in the early 90s, like, ew, that's what you have. Like, yeah, it was kind of gross. And then you got to tell people, like, kind of like I had an STD or something. I had to call people like, hey man, I know we were close the other day, and I have COVID.
You might want to
yourself
get
checked
yourself.
out.
Yeah, you should probably get yourself checked out. Like, yo, that was
love you.
super, super weird.
You want to hang out
I hope
after
this
this?
doesn't change things between
Yeah,
us.
seriously. Like, I felt really
Will you
bad.
stay? Will you stay with me?
So my best friend,
Yes, Joni.
plays saxophone, and he's on his way to this. He does this huge Soul Train, cruise every year.
Not Soul Plane?
No,
Great
not
movie.
Soul Plane. That would be a cool cruise though, to go on a Soul Train. Yeah, but no, it was super cool. He gets to go every year, and this year he's playing with like, I want to say it's like New Edition,
Kenny G.
Boys to Men, or he's playing with like it's In Vogue and Boys to Men.
Ooh,
That's who he's playing
Okay.
with.
In
So
Vogue, where have they been?
I listened to a lot of them, not by choice growing up.
oh yeah, I mean, I think we all did, but now I appreciate them. They were the female Boys to Men, but we'll get to that in a second. So
We won't.
so me and my guy comes and picks me up from work. We hang out and stuff like that. And as I'm sitting at home, I'm like, I feel weird. Not bad, just weird.
Just
like,
funky.
yeah, like I'm not sure like what's happening right now. So let me go ahead and take this COVID test. Take the test and again, there was no need to wait for 15 minutes because
Bright
you could
red.
see that line was super visible. So I felt terrible, and I had to tell my guy who's on his way to play on a cruise ship.
Oh, that's
and,
classic,
And
too.
5
Cruise,
and,
yeah.
and like 7 days from that day, which is like today, right around a day, was like, yo, bro, I tested positive for COVID. I don't think I've ever been so sad because I might have ruined an opportunity for my dude to make thousands of dollars. You know what I mean? And so I was like, bro, I did not want to tell him. I hid it from him so bad. Like, then I finally was like, okay, Red, yo.
I can't send you one. They think
Seriously, I can't, I have to tell you this. I felt so, he
Imagine
was a
the-
trooper about it.
Imagine you not saying anything, and then you just start seeing the news reports like, oh, cruise, 150 people now infected with COVID.
Yeah.
Thanks to Chris, the saxophone player.
Yeah, so
Thanks
I
a
told
lot.
him, and he was hella cool about it, but I could tell he was like, oh, you son of a,
I hate
really,
you.
bro?
I love you.
Like,
I hate you.
that's pretty much, that's what it was. And he was hella cool about it, but still he was like, yo, bro, I'm not really effing with you right now. And I was like, I could totally understand that.
All right, we got some football stuff to get to. Vancouver Ford text line. All text to the Fin via the Vancouver Ford text line. Your dollar goes further at Vancouver Ford. 503-864-6326. They treat you right before, during, and after the sale. Visit VancouverFord.com. Hey, I'm back to getting in studio with you guys. I'm back to, I'm glad we're back to regular life
Good
here.
to see y'all, man.
Ditto.
Glad to get back on the basketball court yesterday.
Who got on the court?
The Newburgh Grizzlies.
Oh, okay.
Fifth,
I'm about to
sixth
say,
grade
you was getting
team.
buckets somewhere?
Oh, I wish. At some points, I'm watching that game, and I said, you know what? Just let me get in. Let me show these kids what's going on.
Move. I got it.
Missed last Saturday's game, and we didn't have a practice all week this week. We show up yesterday, W, 25-13. Big W. Let's go.
Go ahead, Grizzlies.
Hey, 2-0. We're 2-0. And I'm going to be gone next week. I'm going to be gone next week from this show, but from that game on Saturday. So the boys, they gotta prove something to me. They gotta prove that they can get it done with Coach Fish on the sideline, because they've been just showing a lot of heart, showing a lot of physicality, aggressiveness, competitiveness, and they got to keep that going, keep the trend going. But we got to talk about some football games that happened last night, some football games that are going to happen today. I mean, I know we want to talk about my Pitt Panthers upsetting Duke in Camden last night. I mean, I know that's what we all want to talk about.
That's the
What we-
lead, I heard.
I know. Number 7 Duke falling to unranked
Let's not
Pitt.
bury that.
Trust me, I wish we could get to it, guys. But we will get to these football games that happened yesterday. First, 49ers fans, how's that pucker factor after last night? We get to that next here. Football Sunday. Joe Fisher, Rashad Taylor, Jordan Schultz on 1080 The Fan.
Hey guys, Valentine's Day
Brock Purdy is the best quarterback ever,
Oh man,
right?
he's got a shoe coming out. I heard.
That's how that works.
Remember when
You know?
football players used to have shoes? Well, Brock Purdy's getting one.
You just have a fourth quarter drive to win the game. Forget everything else, right? That was one of my favorite things of last night, is seeing all the people jump on the old Twitter X and giving him his praise and being like, yeah, that's right. That's Brock Purdy for your ass. And it was like, it's one drive in an entire game. And yes, a very convenient drive to, play competent quarterback. But did we not see the rest of the game? Like the almost interceptions and the terrible throws throughout the game. I mean, Brandon Ayuk having to make great catches all night because of the terrible passes thrown his way. Kudos for the 49ers pulling it out in the end, because that does take resilience. It takes heart. But, man, I know they were puckering throughout that whole entire game.
Brock Purdy is lucky enough to have the most talented roster in football around him.
Yeah, sorry.
Absolutely.
And losing Deebo Samuel in the first quarter, that sucks. But, man, it definitely helps to have CMC and Brandon Ayuk playing like he did.
Oh, and
George Kittle and Trent Williams.
Yeah, and,
best fullback.
Juwan Jenkins had some amazing catches last night to help them out.
But yeah, it's Jennings.
Is it Jennings?
I think so. I think it's Juwan Jennings.
Juwan Jennings, excuse me. Yeah, so he had some amazing catches last night. But yeah, even so many passes were thrown at the knees of players. And there's that last pass. I want to say it was like third and long, or third and short. I can't remember. But it was a pass to Brandon Ayuk, and he had to kind of dip down at full speed, running, grab it with almost his fingertips.
Towards the end of the game, that final drive there.
That's an amazing catch, but that was a terrible throw.
Yeah.
And there was a lot of those from Brock Purdy throughout the game. And at the end of the day, it doesn't matter. You were able to win the game, but you're able to win the game because of the MVP. And this is going to be my opinion. Christian McCaffrey is the MVP of that team. When he is not able to play, that 49ers team is a different squad. Totally different squad. The way they do everything is not the same. And Christian McCaffrey, bro, that white boy's good.
It is amazing.
God, just to watch him play is like, man, you can't tackle him low. That's not going to work. He's going to run through you. You have to gang tackle him, and somebody has to tackle him incredibly high, and just to make sure that he kind of goes down. But he is so good. Every time he gets the ball, positive yards. He's not losing yards ever. 2 yards, 12 yards, 22 yards. It doesn't matter. He's always going to be moving forward. Like, name another weapon like him in football.
And I was just going to say, out of the 47 touches in the game from the San Francisco players, 24 carries, 23 receptions, he had 24 of them. He had 17 carries, 7 receptions. He was half of the offensive's productions as far as touches go. 17 carries, 98 yards, 2 touchdowns, 7
wacky.
receptions, 30 yards. I mean, he's that dude. And I was just going to say, in the year of 2024, the fact that the best running back in the league is a white dude. I mean, look how far we've come. Look how far we've come.
We just need to
the white man has been oppressed in the game of football at the running back position for years, and here we are back at the mountaintop, baby.
We're just missing our John Lynch, Jason Sehorn free safety white guy now, right?
Like as soon as y'all get back to corners, as soon as y'all get the corner position back,
be careful.
It's a wrap.
There might be a white corner out of Iowa going in the first round this year.
I guarantee it. There
get
is.
ready.
I guarantee there is. But
that all white versus all black team
starting to look a little more even.
That game is
starting to look a little more even.
That's going to be a good game.
Yeah.
Right?
Like, I mean, seriously, in the past couple of years, you had the best receiver in the league has been, a white guy, which is rare, after a few seasons ago.
Oh, Cooper Kupp?
About Cooper Kupp,
Yeah, I never really.
Yeah, it was like
I never agreed with that.
He had that.
Been the
he
best
was
guy last
Jefferson's
year.
clearly
or
the
Jamar
guy.
Chase or a
but
couple of them.
receiver is one of those things, much like corner, that changes every couple years, right?
Yeah,
Odell Beckham was the best receiver in the league for a couple of years, and then Julio Jones is the best receiver in the league for a couple. It just kind of changes. Like quarterback is the only thing that's like consistently like he's the best quarterback. He might be good and he's on his heels, but we know that he's the best, at this point. Receiver, corner, those things change year to year.
Well, then why don't the Niners just trot out like like 4 white guys and an Egyptian, like Rick Pitino said. I'm just kidding. Anyways, the talent at the wide receiver position, I think, is the reason that Brock Purdy is so good. But they did credit to San Francisco last night. I mean, Debo, I think I heard the announcers say plus 7 yards when he's in, Debo Samuel for the Niners on average per play. Without him, it's under 6. It makes a huge difference. So right from the get-go, the Niners are already playing a little shorthanded. But I'm not sure I'm ready. I mean, Christian McCaffrey, bow down. Greatness we are watching. However, not sure I'm ready to crown Brock Purdy as greatness yet, because if you watch the last play of the game, Jordan Love looked pretty similar to Brett freaking Favre throwing that interception. It wasn't necessarily, Brock Purdy making you win the game as the Niners. It was more so Jordan Love handing you that game. If that were a winning drive or a tying drive for the Green Bay Packers, nobody would have been talking about Brock Purdy leading the way. His only touchdown pass, by the way, was to George Kittle in the first half, right? I'm not forgetting that. I think a lot of people were screaming because they hit their George Kittle TD props on social media, but nobody was screaming about Brock Purdy at that point. So credit to the adversity that they fought through, but I would hand that a little bit more to the Packers giving you that game as opposed to the Niners winning that game.
Well, I'm glad you said that, Jordan, because, just on that interception alone, dear God, man, like that's one of the worst interceptions that you'll see.
Who are you throwing it to?
I don't know. 49er, clearly, because there was three of them
Paul
in
Crew?
the area.
That's awesome.
But there is some opportunities that the Packers missed out on, and I look at their 4 drives that were deep into 49er territory. They had drives that ended at the 11-yard line, the 14-yard line, 11-yard line, and the 23-yard line, and the Packers only came with 6 total points out of those 4 drives. Like, you're that far into their territory. I mean, that was the biggest difference between the week before playing the Cowboys and this week, is that they finished off drives with touchdowns. And they were getting all this credit already early in the game. They're like, oh, just like last week, they go get points in the first quarter or their first drive of the game. And it's like, all right, yeah, that's great. But then you had 3 other drives where you got damn close to the touchdown and or red zone, and you walked away with another only 3 points. Like, that is a missed opportunity.
And we talk about missed opportunities, probably none bigger than Anders Carlson. Like, him going out there and missing
a 41-yarder,
that field goal, that at least he makes that game is tied. They go on to overtime anyway, even regardless of how they
that missed field goal would have put them up 24-17.
Yeah. So even if San Francisco still comes down to score, they still come down to score. You're not as worried. You can probably take that into the overtime period and go from there. But I'm like, how did Macaulay Culkin miss that field goal? How do you do that? Now, mind you,
it was very windy.
I understand the wind, but that's what they pay you for as the kicker. Kickers in most cases don't even have to practice.
You sound like my wife, and I love it.
That's what they pay you for. They don't pay you to throw the ball. They don't pay you to block. They don't pay you to catch. They don't pay you to defend. They don't pay you to do any other thing. Everybody on that football team, for the most part, has to do those other things. They don't pay you to do anything else but kick field goals. He's getting jumped after this game. You should have made that. You should have made that as soon. Like, we haven't forgot that, and bro, you're getting jumped as soon as we get back to the locker room. I swear to God.
When Carlson hit that first field goal, I saw the flags on the goalposts flying. Like, I think it was to the left, and I was like, oh wow, he hit that he hit that field goal in the wind, and my wife's like, oh, so he did his job. Nice. Like, my wife's reaction was a little more salty than mine. I love it.
Just doing your job, but it was one of those things that came to bite them in the ass, at the end of the day. But up until then, I thought Jordan Love played his ass off. I thought Jordan Love did, a great job leading that offense. And let's just be real. On paper, games aren't played on paper, but on paper, Green Bay has no reason to stick around in that game with San Francisco. San Francisco should have ran away with that, and Green Bay made it a game for almost 3 quarters. Until the fourth quarter, where that terrible interception was thrown with 30-something seconds in the game. That was a great game. So I'm going to tip my cap to Jordan Love, because you made it further than Aaron Rodgers did, and you were literally seconds away from potentially having a chance to play in the championship game without Aaron Rodgers. No one thought. We talked a lot about the Texans, right? No one thought the Texans would be in that situation that they were in. We'll talk about the Texans, I assume, soon. No one thought they would be there. We could say the same thing for the Packers. They were talking bad about LaFleur, like we're not sure if he's really the guy there. He's not really the coach they should be looking for. Jordan Love looked, up and down at certain points of his career. You weren't really sure what you're going to get from them. And then all of a sudden they have a pretty good playoff run. You consider this a good playoff run. You won your first game. You were on the doorstep of potentially winning your second, going to the championship game. Green Bay shouldn't hang their heads. Like, obviously you will because you're disappointed. But again, smart money was on San Francisco for good reason. And you got to be proud of, if you're a Packers fan, you got to be proud of the way your team played. Even terrible interception at the end of the game and everything. Like, most people feel like you probably shouldn't have made it this far.
Green Bay covered, right? It was a 10-point spread. Yep. Green Bay ended up covering, so I know a lot of people were happy with that betting line, but 10 points was a lot. And Green Bay has a ton of weapons. They actually credit Mina Kimes from ESPN. That's where I stole this stat from, but they had the leading NFL stat as far as different receivers leading the team throughout the season go. I think they had 8 or 9 different guys on the roster leading the way. The Packers are hard to prepare for, and credit to Aaron Jones. He makes that offense run. And at least we talk about Jordan Love looking like Brett Favre at the last play of the game. At least Jordan Love is a younger quarterback as opposed to Favre. He was kind of at the end of his rope in Minnesota when he threw that type of interception. So I think we can understand. It's like, who are you throwing to, Jordan? Okay, he was trying to make something happen. He's young. We get it. He's not a total 40-year-old idiot that, we know shouldn't have made that play.
Yesterday, Jordan Love hit 9 different receivers.
Yep, there you go.
Speaks 9 different receivers. He targeted 10, but hit 9 different receivers. Like, that's spreading the ball
for, man.
Yeah.
Packers, they have made the playoffs 9 of the past 12 seasons and have been eliminated by the 49ers 5 of those times.
Damn.
They got a 49ers problem.
How many times have 49ers been eliminated by them?
Oh, I don't know.
Because it's pretty substantial.
I don't have that stat in front of me, but Packers right now, their kryptonite seems to be the 49ers in the playoffs. Let's keep this going. Let's talk about this game a little bit more. We had another playoff game between the Texans and the Ravens. We'll see if we get to that next segment or the one after. But playoff football, it rolls on here on Football Sunday, brought to you by Grillworks Supply Co. on 1080 The Fan in the Odyssey app. But Jordan Schultz has got a SportsCenter update first.
Now, from the Spirit Mountain Casino Sports Desk, a SportsCenter update on 1080 The Fan.
First on The Fan, the divisional round of the NFL playoffs in full swing as the Ravens smacking the Texans. Final score 34-10 yesterday. Lamar Jackson looking like a true MVP, throwing for 2 touchdowns and running for a couple more. Following that, the 49ers coming back to beat the Green Bay Packers 24-21. The final, Christian McCaffrey leading the way with 98 yards on the ground and 2 touchdowns as well. Of course, Baltimore and San Francisco will face the winners of today's games. First, the Detroit Lions hosting the Tampa Bay Buccaneers as a 6-point favorite. Kickoff at noon on NBC. And the game everyone has been waiting to see this week. The Bills host the Kansas City Chiefs as a 3-point favorite. Kickoff set for 3:30. You can catch that one on CBS. In the association, the Portland Trailblazers back on the court tonight, hitting the road to face the Los Angeles Lakers. Lakers are 10.5-point favorites in that one. Tip-off set for 7 p.m. on Root Sports. More sports scores and stories in 30 minutes. I'm Schulte from the Spirit Mountain Casino Sports Desk. Spirit Mountain Casino is the place to watch and wager on all the pro football playoff action. Learn more at spiritmountain.com.
Every day, get the NFL headlines delivered straight to you. Follow the Best Football Show with Brian Baldinger on the free Odyssey app or wherever you get your podcasts.
Hey, it's Zook for A&E Plumbing, Heating, and Air. Before getting a new train system installed, I was guilty of getting one quick fix after another. Then I found a team that educated me on how to keep my house comfortable, and they showed me the difference between a cheap stop
You are not a safety. You're not Ed Reed. Get down.
Get down. He was really trying to make a play.
Bro,
you know what
what?
he said? I'm going to score a touchdown. I'm going to score a touchdown. I'm going to end the game. That's what he was thinking.
His quote, he blames it on Fred Warner because he said that Fred Warner at some point told him that he needed to get a pick six.
Everybody's on the TV, man, get down. What are you doing?
You can see, multiple people on his team yelling at him, pointing to the ground. Even Kevin Burkhardt and Greg Olson are yelling at him. He needs to get down. What are you doing? It's a wet, rainy game, too. So one player just gets one punch in there. That ball is out.
The best
that
play
game is still on. I was just like, buddy, what are you doing?
The best play of that game was was it Keeson Nixon fumble
the
recovery?
kick return?
Oh my gosh. That was the perfect recovery. The way he was already diving that way and the ball was there. You can see him going I'm gonna get this. And then that was perfect.
Nailed it.
He didn't bobble it, didn't
to go
anything.
from almost housing the kick return to then oh my God, he fumbled it.
Yeah, what a great return. Number one, the return was awesome until the fumble. And then he just happened to be right there. Was yo, what a great play. That might have been the best play of the day.
And screw number 30, I can't remember whose name it was, but for the Niners it was obvious that the Packers had already gotten on that football. And then at the end of the play, number 30 for the Niners comes in to jump to try and grab the football after. It's get the hell off the ball, you idiot. We all see what you're doing. Oh, I'm aggressive. I'm trying to go. Stop. Stop it. You're wasting our time.
And at that point, they're losing.
Wasting
hey, man, it's playoffs. I'm trying to get this.
That's stupid. That's there's effort and then there's just being ridiculous, and that went to the category of ridiculousness. Nice job, number 30. Special teams guy, get the hell off the field.
I need a ridiculous guy on my team.
49ers, they get the W, and it's I hate the whole wake up call, but man, you escaped a loss.
It's a great word to use.
You got damn close to blowing that game last night and having to come back and get the victory. Now you're going to the NFC Championship again. We're getting into this territory that, and I said this a few weeks ago when we did primetime, how do we view this 49ers team and franchise if they don't win the Super Bowl this year? Because they have been there, literally since Jim Harbaugh coaching this team, how many times have they almost been right there? They've only gone to the Super Bowl once since they had Jim Harbaugh and then Kyle Shanahan. So you keep getting damn close and getting to the conference championship. Hey, it's better than what my Cowboys are doing. But at some point, something's got to give. Are you guys going to pull this off eventually, finally? Come on. You've had all this talent for years. Over the last 3 years, and granted, 2 years ago, they came in as a wild card, but then you beat the Cowboys, and then you're rolling in the playoffs, and then you go and face, I think it was the Rams in that NFC conference championship game. And then you're in the game last year against the Eagles, and sure, Brock Purdy goes down, and you don't have a quarterback that can fill in, and so you're pretty one-dimensional at that point. But again, you have been there right at the doorstep for damn near a decade, it feels like, with this team and a lot of dudes that are leftovers from those Jim Harbaugh teams. And then you just keep replenishing talent. When John Lynch got there, he's been an amazing GM. As far as team building goes, 49ers are one of the best, if not the best in the league. But does it matter if you can't actually finish the job? We're getting into Bills territory almost, it feels like. The Bills were 4 Super Bowls in a row, but you don't win it. Say what you want about my Cowboys not getting the job done, but what's worse, being that close every year and being that good every year and not finishing the job? This has to be the year that the 49ers pulled off.
I'm gonna read something real quick, and this is just the 49ers roster. Brock Purdy, Christian McCaffrey, Elijah Mitchell, Deebo Samuel, Brandon Ayuk, George Kittle, Trent Williams, Chase Young, Eric Armstead, Nick Bosa, Fred Warner. Those are your star players. Those are your quote unquote key players. You have them at pretty much every position on the field. You have an amazing offensive minded head coach. You obviously had a great defensive
Hey,
coordinator.
don't
that's
you forget
able-
about Kyle Juszczyk, okay?
Oh no, yeah, you've got Kyle Juszczyk. You got
Make fullbacks great again.
you obviously had a great defensive scheme when you had what's now the head coach of the Texans. You know, at this point, like talent. You've been able to wrangle the talent that you need, and it seems like you get them for almost nothing. Like, do we remember the Chase Young deal? It's like it was almost like they got Chase Young for nothing. I felt like, and he's somebody there that's there to make plays. Now, mind you, not the number. What was he? Number 2 overall.
Chase Young, yeah, number 2
Number
overall.
2 overall. Probably not the plays that a number 2 overall player makes, but still a damn good player. You have zero excuse for not winning the Super Bowl. I just feel that way. And I think a lot of 49er fans think that that's hate when you say it. No, it's an endorsement. The only thing stopping the 49ers from winning the Super Bowl is the 49ers. That's it. Last night, it almost cost them. And I don't know how they change that before next week because they're going to play a better team in next week's game. Now, be it the Lions or the Lions is who I think is going to be that game. It's like, yeah, they're going to need to come with it all the way. And last night was kind of almost a half-assed effort. I could be wrong, and maybe they were playing with all their hearts. If that's the case, I don't know how far they're going to make it. But that team goes as Christian McCaffrey goes, and we're knocking on wood to make sure that he can stay healthy from now until that game, because that's a bad boy. And when he's playing like he did last night, bolting up the middle, he doesn't really take a lot of, he's not running, getting on the edges. He's running right down your throat every single time. Pause. Good job, bro.
I beat you to the punch that time.
Every single time. And there's nothing. He's saying challenging defenses to stop me. Do something. And you respect that so much, then all of a sudden, oh, wait, we got this fast tight end, there's nothing you can do about San Francisco. So if they don't win, this is on you. Take this 49ers. You don't win, you're just not good enough.
Well, I'm looking at some of their contracts right now as far as like they're basically got everybody locked in through even next year with some of their contracts. But I mean, most of their key players, they're good to go for the next few years. Like Kittle, he's signed through 2026, Debo through 2026, McCaffrey through 2026. Some of the players that their contract expires in 25, like are dudes that it's like, okay, Talanoa Hufanga, yeah, we would probably like to bring him back. Diamador Lenore, yeah, probably like to bring him back. Brandon Ayuk, Dre Greenlaw, Charvarius Ward, Eric Armstead. But again, they're good next year. And some of those guys at that point, like, I'm not going to say are replaceable, but those aren't your top key players, I think, that are really pushing this team to where they are. As you mentioned, some of them. So if they don't do it this year, they're obviously running it back next year because they are so good. But I mean, is this a matter of like, if they don't get it this year, they still got next year and they should be fine and they'll be a contender. And so we don't. But again, anything happens in the NFL, like you're right there at the top, and then the next year you have injuries happen, Brock Purdy, I think everybody's waiting for him to come back to earth here soon. So But I don't know. I just feel like this is a year. It's the 49ers. You got to pull this off, man. And I know there's a team in the AFC that we're going to talk about next that's looking more and like they should be the favorite. But again, I just don't know how much we give the 49ers a pass for being a really, really good team who's always there at the end of the season but doesn't finish.
That's been the conversation for them. They're always a good team, but there's something keeping them from kind of crossing that threshold to being the great team, the Super Bowl winning team.
All right, let's go over to the AFC because we did have the Texans versus the Ravens. I want to talk about that. And we got hour number 2 coming up where we will preview some of the matchups. Some of them, there's only 2 of them happening today. So we'll preview the 2 matchups, which one of them I just can't believe that, either of these teams for different reasons have a chance to go to the NFC Conference Championship. But we'll talk about Ravens, Texans next here on Football Sunday on 1080 The Fan. Before we get to Texans, Ravens, my journalistic integrity is getting the best of me. I said Harbaugh straight to Shanahan, but I guess because these 2 years were so terrible that I completely forgot about him. Who can forget about the Jim Tomsula and Chip Kelly days?
I was going to say, yeah, there are a couple of names in there.
I totally forgot Chip was the head coach of. It was so bad. They were like, yeah,
2-14.
This isn't going to work, guys.
After 1 year.
1 year, like, yeah, we're going to move on.
And then
2-14.
good old I'm a head coach Jim Tomsula. I will, but I won't. But I'll tell you how to coach a game. It's just a lot of effort, giving max effort. Got to get the guys to get a win.
I don't have the drops page up, but there is the classic soundbite of what is it? I wouldn't say that, but then again, what? But
I might say that.
Yeah, I gotta find it because it's just like the most confusing jumble of where you're like, dude, what? Like that made that? I don't think that means what you think it means.
Made sense to him.
Right.
And that was probably the problem.
I understand that people are counting on things to get done the right way, a certain way. I clearly understand the expectations of the ownership on and off the field. I clearly understand the expectations of the general manager.
No, that doesn't have it. God, I know it's on the Primetime's
I would not
drops
say
page.
that. I wouldn't say it either.
Thank you.
I just wanted to know. I had.
I
both.
would not say that. I wouldn't say it either.
I just wanted to give everybody a dose of like, here's who this was. Here's this guy.
You fooled me once, can't get fooled again. That's essentially
That's pretty much what we got.
Oh, crap. All right, we got Ravens, Texans yesterday.
Yeah.
Oh, God, never changed Jim Tomsula. How many gigs has he gotten since?
I think he's still an O-line coach somewhere. But anyways, I digress.
Ravens, Texans, I mean, C.J. Stroud was like David Bowie and Queen yesterday, just under pressure all day long, running. He just looked super uncomfortable, but that is due to the Ravens' defense. They allowed only 51 yards in the second half yesterday. 51 yards. Like that, I mean, after what we saw last week with Bobby Slowick getting all the praise in the world against the Browns defense and Jim Schwartz and putting up, I wouldn't say 45 points because 14 of them came off of pick sixes. So 31 points on the Browns. The Ravens, man, they just keep looking scarier and scarier and scarier as the weeks go on. It looks like a team that just keeps getting better as the weeks go on. And they got to have all the confidence in the world right now that they are the team to beat, not just in the AFC, but for the Super Bowl. I mean, we could be looking at a 49ers-Ravens rematch from a few years back, the Harbaugh Bowl. But
the Bowl.
Damn, dude, like the Ravens defense is just nasty.
Yeah, they're different, man.
Yes, Jim Tomsula. Yes, I agree with that statement right there.
Yeah, no, their defense was just everywhere. It's almost old school Ravens. Not quite, but the way that they, kind of are able to stop the run. Like Devin Singletary looked awful in yesterday's game, but that front seven from the Ravens just made it impossible to run.
Like
and
Ray
again,
Lewis was back on the field.
CJ Stroud has looked as comfortable in the pocket as any veteran quarterback has looked, throughout this year. Yesterday was the first time I looked at CJ Stroud and was like, uh-oh. He's under some pressure, like you said. Like he's trying to escape. He's trying to make these throws that he's been typically making. Like, oh man, that was a good play by the rookie. Okay, that was a good play by the rookie. The Ravens weren't allowing any of that in the second half. And at the end of the first half, it looked like the Texans had finally figured out Lamar Jackson. Okay, they got like 2 big sacks and everything to end the first half, and I was like, uh-oh. Okay, I think they might have figured this out. And then Lamar Jackson put on that cape and said, yeah, you follow me. I got y'all. And Lamar Jackson in the second half was a different dude. And this is why you paid him the big bucks. This is why he was mad that you would have the nerve to say that I'm not worth this money. And this is why, he was upset or insulted more than anything that you want to make me a receiver? Like, are you people serious? Lamar Jackson is easily at quarterback the best weapon in football. Like, I think Pat Mahomes has probably more in his bag than Lamar Jackson has. But for what he does, like when you're talking about just you need a first down, you need 4 yards, You're right there on the goal line. You're trying to figure out a play. How do you want it? Do you want me to drop back and I can throw short?
How do you want it? How does it feel?
How does it feel after I score and then take it into the tunnel like I'm Bo Jackson? Like, get out of here. Like, he was really in his bag yesterday. Lamar Jackson is clearly the MVP, but none of that matters if he doesn't win in the playoffs. Like, I get it. There's going to be a big award ceremony, and is it next week or the week after? The week after next, during the week prior to the Super Bowl. They're going to have a big award ceremony.
Oh, Lamar Jackson about for like the MVP
NFL honors, and Lamar Jackson's going to walk away with the most valuable player award. But if he doesn't play in that AFC Championship game, I don't think it matters.
Oh yeah, I mean that was definitely some of a little bit of the narrative to start the game was that he's 1-3 in the playoffs. So I mean, getting the win yesterday was important, not just for the Ravens, but just definitely for his legacy.
Absolutely, because he was essentially Kirk Cousins in the playoffs. If you're looking at Kirk Cousins is 1-4, Lamar Jackson goes down that game. He's 1-4, a really good player with only one playoff win and MVP. Not good enough.
Yeah, there are no questions left, right? Like I mean,
shouldn't be.
Yeah, sitting here last night, I'm like, we're good. I think we all know what Lamb Jack is now. We've got the money. He's going to win another MVP. But credit to their defense as well. But I gotta say, even more credit to their defense just kerfuddling the heck out of the Texans offense. I heard Troy Aikman talking about
not a single touchdown scored by the Texans offense.
Absolutely.
They just had their punt return and that was it.
No, great point. Great stat to point out there. And that was, it seemed like, because one of the reasons that Troy Aikman was talking to Bobby Slovic the night before the game, talking about their offense, it seems to be that the question that he asked Slovic regarding, like, well, hey, what do you guys got in the bag, to pull out, to try and, mess with your opponent, can you outsmart the Ravens at any point in the game where you think you're kind of heels against the wall? And Slovic admitted this to Troy Aikman, and I can't believe he did. He said, no, we've got to go trick play. I mean, I'm surprised that you don't lie at that point. We all give Slovic a bunch of praise. I think Slovic would be a lot luckier, like with a really good quarterback like he's gotten in CJ Stroud than he would with, I don't know, a Bryce Young. So let's look at the situation Slovic is in, because when he's giving answers like that the night before a game to the guy that you know is going to be on national television giving your answer to America the next day, it looked like a terrible, it was a bad look for me. It didn't
lie.
He
tried. They tried some trick plays.
That's not something you give Troy Aikman, man. It showed the ineptiveness of, I think, the coaching of the Texans offense. Just my opinion.
Well, the Texans, great first year for DeMeco Ryans and CJ Stroud. Tip of the cap to them. But yeah, man, I mean, just this Ravens team is on another level right now. They completely locked down that Texans offense, and to go from 1 week looking as competent as they did to looking like they did yesterday. I mean, they had, I think their longest drive yesterday was 44 yards. If I look back on it. Yeah, which is where they missed a field goal. But other than that, 9-yard drive, 23-yard drive, 28-yard drive, 7 yards, 32, which ended in a punt, 5 yards, 4 yards. Like, they just could not do a damn thing. And looking at the Ravens, 6 of their last 7 games, besides that Rams game, that shootout they had a few weeks ago, held the Chargers to 10 points, Jaguars to 7 points, held the 49ers to 19 points, and that was in San Francisco. Held the Dolphins to 19 points where they blew them out 56-19. And yeah, they held the Steelers to 17 points in a loss, but I mean, that game, end of the year, they weren't even playing for anything, so still held that Steelers team to less than 20. So you've held 6 of your last 7 opponents to less than 20 points.
Yeah, and so at that point, your offense just has to make plays. And CJ Stroud has done a good job of keeping them afloat. I think they need to fix that offensive line because Stroud didn't have much time to really work in between there. They have to get a run game. Devin Singletary is not it. Let's just go ahead and say that much. Devin Singletary is a good little running back, but not enough to be able. He's towards the end of as far as starters, he's towards the end of the NFL as far as yards are concerned. He has 4 touchdowns on the year. Like it might be time. It might be time to try to find some additional offense to go along with CJ Stroud.
He had 9 carries for 22 yards. I mean, you want to talk about
that's not going to get it.
You want to talk about a difference in the game? Houston rushing 14 carries for 38 yards, 2.7 average per run. The Baltimore Ravens 42 carries, 229 yards, 5.5 yards per carry.
100 of those by your quarterback.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
Is that kind of why you force
Maybe he should just play running back all the time.
maybe, right?
Like the
Hiking to itself.
Wildcat?
Yeah, just a wildcat.
Right? Isn't that what we were saying?
It's essentially what they're running.
Pre-draft to Lamar, have him just play running back?
Is that why at the end of the game, D'Amico Ryans essentially just said, screw this, I'm just going to punt down 14? It was a 4th and 5 at about the 30-35, but you're running out of time. I don't understand. I understand the offense has been inept for the Texans, but I don't understand how giving it back to the Baltimore Ravens, who had scored 2 touchdowns on their previous 2 drives. It's like, all right, if we give it to them at the 35, the game's over. What if you give it to him at the other side of the 35? The game's like a little less over. You're already down by 14. I subscribe to the Mike Leach style of football. Like, just go for it. It seemed like they were playing a little scared, and then you hear Ryan at the end of the game be like, you know what? Lamb Jack was just great. We were just facing greatness today. So I kind of wonder if Houston, just going into the second half of the third quarter, kind of gave up yesterday.
What's a lamb jack?
That's
Lamar
I
Jackson.
get it. I get it.
It sounds like something like a fancy dish. Of some sort.
Right.
Like
Oh,
lamb. Dude,
I'll have the lamb jack.
I had some lamb jacks last night.
Great choice, sir.
They're delicious.
No, I mean, Lamar was incredible, when he needed to be. And if you look at his passing numbers, obviously he only missed on 6 passes, but he had a 121 rating and a 93, QBR. Like, he was absolutely phenomenal when he needed to be. And then, again, shows you the weapon he was when he's able to use his legs, and he wasn't, kind of, kind of taking bootlegs out to the side and stuff like he was straight up the middle, waits for a little bit, patient, wait and see the hole open, and then goes right through there. And there's not much that anybody can do about it once he gets moving like that. He's almost like Christian McCaffrey in that regard, that once it's like one-on-one and you have to try to tackle him in open space, like you have no choice. It's 2004 Michael Vick on Madden.
Yeah,
there's nothing you can do.
And as far as like what you're saying, Jordan, like why punt there after they score 2 touchdowns? I guess you're trying to just play the field position game, but the drive before that for the Ravens, they marched it all the way downfield, and then the drive after that punt, 11 plays, 10 of those were carries, and they took off 7 minutes off the clock.
You're ensuring that the game is lost.
Like at that point,
in my
yeah,
opinion.
it's like you're done.
And I'm as a defensive guy, I'm sure he was like, I'm confident the defense can make a stop.
They can't
and
score
they
a
can't.
third time.
Yeah, right.
Like, come on.
Yeah.
Give your in my opinion, you give your second overall rookie quarterback that's going to win Rookie of the Year a chance to make a 4th and 5. Have they done it all day? No, but you give that chance.
All right, so we know the 2 teams that will be in the conference championships next week, both the 1 seeds, the Ravens and the 49ers. Talk about the 2 matchups today. One of them between 2 teams where you're not surprised that they're in the position that they are in. And then the other matchup is I can't believe that we could be talking about either of these teams going to the NFC Conference Championship. Let's get to those matchups next. Who do you love in the second hour? Let's get after it. Football Sunday, 1080 The Fan.
Time is money. At Leafs, we understand that accidents happen when you least expect it. Leafs has a special fast-track repair program for those who need it fixed fast. Call us for details and restrictions. Now, if you're in an accident, call us before you contact your insurer. Let our experts set up your collision claim to ensure you get all you're entitled to. Adjusters are trained to deny. We're trained to defend. Loaners deduct assist. And, of course, we pick up and deliver anywhere in the Northwest. Leafs, the finest in collision repair.
I'm George McCoy with Warren Allen, Attorneys at Law. Winter is here, and with it we get the football playoffs and basketball hitting its stride, but we also get dangerous driving conditions. And even if you do everything you can to make sure you're safe and you get your car ready for driving in the rain, the snow, and the ice, keep in mind, not all drivers do. So be safe, but if you're injured in an accident, don't trust the insurance companies. Call me, George McCoy at Warren Allen, and I will fight to get you what you deserve. Online at warrenallen.com.
LaRogue Brothers are retiring. Guys, every engagement ring slashed in price. Save up to 70% on every ring at LaRogue's. Valentine's Day, it's coming up, so don't pay retail for that rock. Cash or credit card only. LaRogue's in Clackamas, Tigard, and LaRogue.com.
When people have a craving to explore new and traditional Asian cuisines, they head to P.F. Chang's, where scratch-made dishes come from the 2,000-year-old tradition of wok cooking. P.F. Chang's wanted to explore new possibilities for their website. They turned to American Eagle AmericanEagle.com. AmericanEagle.com re-architected P.F. Chang's website, integrating multiple third-party systems to create a unified digital experience. The results? Improved page speed and performance, personalized content based on users' location, and
Brought to you by Grillworks Supply Co. I don't know if I'm going to be doing much grilling today. I unfortunately have work to do.
It's a great time to grill too.
Bro,
I would not say that. I wouldn't say it either.
Yeah, I agree. I'm not looking forward to this week in general. I'm looking forward to Thursday because I am leaving. I'm going to Arizona Thursday through next Monday, which great timing as far as weather goes.
Yeah, it couldn't be better.
But yeah, we have we got some stuff to do this week on the Joe work calendar, and I'm not looking too forward to all that, including having to work today and having to like build presentations and stuff like that.
Yeesh.
You'll be all right, bro.
I know. It's going to be a grind. So, big game today. Chiefs,
I
Bills. You know,
Big ups, huh?
yeah. Kind of seems like it's a big deal, right? Josh Allen, Patrick Mahomes. Patrick Mahomes playing in his first away game in the playoffs ever is the big story of the day.
Oh my God, it had to happen at some point.
But as far as like quarterback matchups go, I mean, this is what people want. These are two of the 5 best quarterbacks, probably rank them in your top 5. Listen, I was getting pretty pissed about all the love for Josh Allen, even after him throwing as many interceptions as he did this year, because me being a Cowboy fan, it seemed like we couldn't get over how many interceptions that Dak threw last year. But you watch how the Bills played in their game last week and then against the Dolphins to win the division, and you're reminded, like, Josh Allen's just built different. That, like, the Bills team, they're a little erratic, but the way that they finished off the year, 5 wins in a row, they've won 7 of their last 8 games. I mean, Joe Brady getting the reins of that offense has completely changed the dynamics of that team. And now he's starting to get some head coaching interviews, which probably been a long time coming ever since his LSU days. But this Bills team does look different. Now, granted, the Chiefs looked damn good last week playing in those negative temperatures against the Dolphins. And I don't know if that was, I mean, it was probably just the perfect storm for the Dolphins. It's like they're away, they're playing in negative temperatures. The Chiefs, like, they're built for this. They've been doing this at home for a while now. So maybe that was just the week that the Chiefs were meant to have, you know, winning 26-7 and being that much better than the Dolphins. And granted, it's going to be a cold environment in Buffalo, right? I don't know what the snow is going to be like this week, but you're looking at 20-degree weather at Orchard Park. But this is the one that everyone's been waiting for. Bills, Chiefs, Mahomes, Allen, like, this is huge. This has got to be the biggest game of this 4-game slate this weekend, just as far as quarterbacks go, teams go. Bills, they've had now won, was it 4 or 5 straight wild card games or playoff game? I think it was like 4 straight wild card games going into this year. And then the Chiefs are the Chiefs. And we kind of talked about last week when we jumped on the Twitter Spaces is that, you know, if the Chiefs pull this one off and then they got to go to Baltimore and then they pull that one off, I mean, like, damn, like, what? At that point, the NFL is just throwing their arms up. Like, what do we do to stop these guys at this point? If we're looking at this, I think this is the time that the Bills, they finally pull it off and they get the win and they go to the AFC Championship game. And then you want to talk about even another great quarterback matchup, Lamar Jackson, Josh Allen, the way that those guys can run the ball. I mean, damn, we're getting spoiled today with these two.
Oh, man, this is a great time to be a football fan. This is probably I don't want to call it a rivalry just yet, but I guess we could call it a rivalry between the Bills and the Chiefs. Both teams are built very similarly, you know, I guess if we could say that. Like, you've got 2 stud quarterbacks that are, you know, great at what they do. You got 2 great head coaches. You know, one is probably a little more offensively inclined than the other, obviously. You've got, man, great sets of receivers, you know, on both sides of the ball. You've got great defenses on both sides of the coin. The 2 most talented quarterbacks in the league, Josh Allen and Patrick Mahomes. Obviously, Patrick Mahomes is the guy. He's got the hardware to prove he is the guy. But this is this generation's Peyton Manning and Tom Brady. You know, one has the hardware and everything, and the other one is about to start, you know, kind of, if they can get a couple MVP seasons under their belt, they're going to be right there. But it's going to be cold. I think that's okay with the Chiefs, though. The Chiefs don't play in a warm way. They don't play in a dome. They play in a very cold temperature spot as well. Was it last week where they played? It was on the road, right? The Chiefs played on the road last week.
No, but that was the home
The
game.
home, yeah, that was the only home game.
Negative degree temperature where you pulled a water bottle out of the cooler and it froze instantly. Videos of that going around.
So
Andy Reid's mustache with the icicles all over it, that image will go down in history.
They are very used to playing in these type of temperatures, and so I don't think that's going to be as much of a
to them it's going to be a balmy 20 degrees.
Yeah, right. It's going to be, oh man, it's warm out here today, guys. So I think that the weather might be something that's maybe a little overrated of a factor, for this Chiefs team. But if Patrick Mahomes can pull this off, that means he beat Tua last week. He will beat Josh Allen this week
again
in the playoffs again, which is why it's hard for me to call it a rivalry, because you haven't won when it really matters, which is right now. So I guess it won't call it a rivalry. If they go forward and they play and beat the Ravens, he will have beaten Tua, he will have beaten Josh Allen, and then he would go on to beat what will be the MVP and Lamb. What do we call him?
Lambjack.
Yeah, Lambjack.
You're making me hungry again.
And then go on to the Super Bowl and potentially win. Like, again, we talk about the path and which ring may mean the most to Patrick Mahomes, and I think it would be this one. Like, if he actually runs the gamut and is able to do that, Patrick Mahomes is sitting pretty. And then next year, we're still asking questions about if Josh Allen is able to get the job done.
See, I feel like this year it kind of comes a little more on Josh Allen. I feel like this is a bigger game for him than it is for Pat Mahomes.
I'd agree that the pressure's probably more on Josh Allen and the Bills to win this game. I mean, you're at home,
sure.
You're the favorite.
Absolutely. Last week, we get it. This is the Chiefs' first away game, but last week in the cold, the Chiefs were facing a lot of adversity, kind of wondering, with Travis Kelce getting older. They won a Super Bowl without Tyreek Hill. However, the weapons past Kelce pretty much aren't there. You got a sometimes healthy Pacheco this year, and outside of him and Travis Kelce, you're looking at like maybe Rashee Rice as somebody that you've hit. You don't go to Kadarius Toney consistently. You just don't have anybody else. But we know that, so I guess people are going to give Pat Mahomes a pass, especially after the performance last week. But you guys are talking about Josh Allen, how they've been kind of close each time. How many times are they going to get close? We were talking 3 weeks ago about Sean McDermott possibly getting fired, but since that whole rant or whatever he went on about 9/11,
I was going to say, Sean McDermott, big fan of Al Qaeda.
Yeah, no kidding. Apparently, since that rant and then the whole fallout about that, that's all it took to get the team motivated to get him going on the right page. But I'm not sure. We know that the Chiefs can get there. We don't know if the Buffalo Bills can get there. I'm not sure if anybody actually has faith in Josh Allen yet. So, this is the game that everybody's been waiting to see. Like I heard Rob and Suk saying, inject it right into my veins tonight. I'm excited. And yeah, I guess this is the chance for Josh Allen, and if not, gonna be a lot of questions. He'll be one of those mediocre quarterbacks like Dak that don't get it done in the playoffs if this happens today.
Yeah, just looking at it, you got lost wild card in 2019, lost the conference championship in 2020. That was against the Chiefs. You lost that one 38-24. You lost the divisional round in 2021 to the Chiefs. That was that crazy ending to that game. I mean,
back and forth game, that was nuts. Like,
dear God,
35 points in like 7 seconds type stuff.
And then you lose to the Bengals last year, 27-10. So I mean, you don't have Burrow in your way. You do have Mahomes and this Chiefs offense. But again, like, you want to talk about a team who hasn't looked like years past is this Chiefs offense. I mean, you go and look at their week by week breakdown. We all watched it. It was ugly at some points. And so this team is a completely different Chiefs team than years past. Again, this is your chance, Buffalo. Like, you need to take advantage of this. And then whether you're playing, you're playing the Ravens next week. I mean, like, you got to take advantage of that opportunity too, which is going to be tough as hell because we've been seeing what the Ravens been doing. But the fact that we are down to Lamar, Patrick Mahomes, and Josh Allen, like those three in the AFC, that's how it should be. Right. I mean, and we don't have Burrow obviously this year, which is unfortunate, but it is what it is. But to have it come down to these three quarterbacks again, like how lucky are we that it's coming down to this in the AFC?
Oh man, it's again, and you take out the fact that you've had a couple of great a young upstart, that we were able to see and perform in the playoffs this year. Tua was there he was there, but so you had some great quarterback play so far this year, and now we're kind of reaping the benefits of those here in the playoffs.
Yes, sir. All right. Let's get to this next game because I cannot believe that we could be talking about either of these teams getting to the NFC Conference Championship. We get to that next year. Football Sunday, 1080 The Fan.
Made.
I mean, nobody had them at this point to start the season.
No.
I mean, if you would have said that the Buccaneers finished the year 9-8 and we're going to beat the Eagles in the wild card round at home and then go to the divisional round, I'm sorry. Find me one person that would have thought that was going to happen. And if so, start laying some cash in Vegas immediately and on the draft books or the sports books. The Lions, on the other hand, it's not so much believing that they can't get to this point. It's just, we're talking about the Lions.
Yeah.
Literally, I'm 31, born in 92.
Don't stop saying that around me, bro.
Sorry.
Come on, man.
I'll be 32 here in
That's not making it
in
okay.
Like a week and a half or so. Is that? But they have not been to a conference championship since 1991. So literally, ain't something I've seen before. The Lions at this point in the season, this far, with the chance to go to the NFC Conference Championship. So for two completely different reasons, I can't believe we're getting this matchup. And prayers to the Long family, one of my best friends, Ben, and his brother, Paul, because Ben is a Buccaneers fan and Paul is a Lions fan, and they live together. And I can't imagine that both of them are going to make it out alive after today.
Oh, it's gonna listen. If you're a Lions fan, stand up. This is what you've been waiting for. So my good friend Mike is also a Lions fan. Has been a Lions fan since.
Where are all these Lions fans coming from?
He's been around, man. Like I remember he had this dope ass like pro, not a starter, but it's like pro player jacket, and it was a Lions one. It's like, man, that was fresh. That was when we were like he's a couple years older than me, so he was a 5th grader when I was a 3rd grader. I was like, yeah, that's fresh. But so he's been a Lions fan forever. He cried.
Flossing on the 3rd graders.
He cried when the Lions won and made it to this point in the season, just because it's been since he was a little kid. So you know what? If you're a Lions fan, just like the Bengals, and we all kind of got on their bandwagon a few years ago once they finally made it back to the Super Bowl.
Thing. I remember Joey wanted a Bengals hat for Christmas or something like that. My dad was like, what?
Yeah, because mind you, there's probably
hey man, they're good now. They're the team.
There are a lot of kids that are just now maybe starting to figure out that they like football and they like certain teams, and then you typically root for the team that's best at that point if you're just starting to like things. So those
front running ass kids,
right? No surprise that we have a lot of young Seahawk fans, here, or a lot of young Ravens fans. Obviously, a lot of young Golden State fans, because you start watching basketball at a time. A lot
of young Cowboys fans.
Yeah, I don't think you're gonna have many more of those.
No, I don't think so.
TVs are getting expensive. People, you got to buy a new TV if you're a Cowboys fan every year.
Oh, bro, I'm glad I turned it off when I did, because my
you didn't break yours?
My nice OLED, it might not have made it out alive.
Just call Dak Prescott. He'll be able to buy you a new one with his contract of like $40 to $50 million a year for his
just
mediocre ass.
1 year left.
I can't.
We digress.
I can't believe they have to pay him that.
We digress. Well, I do. He is a good quarterback, but anyways, I digress. I think I'm pulling for the Lions in this, because I've seen the Bucs. Again, I am a huge fan of parody and seeing things that I've never seen before when it comes to sports. Like, I always looking back and being like, dude, I remember when Georgia finally won that national championship. I remember when the Raptors pulled off the NBA finals that one year. Like, Michigan this year, like seeing Michigan win the national championship. Like, haven't seen that happen in a long ass time. Like, there are moments in sports where it's like, that is the first time I've seen that happen.
That was cool.
Yeah, that was awesome. So seeing the Lions get to this point, this far in the season, and have a chance to go to the NFC Conference Championship, man, and imagine if they go and then they beat the 49ers and the Lions are in the effing Super Bowl.
That'd be awesome.
What?
And honestly, that's something that's plausible. Like, while I do think the 49ers should win, the Lions are well coached. Start there. Dan Campbell, Coach of the Year.
Run through a wall for that MFR, right?
I get it. I understand DeMeco Ryans, and he's had a phenomenal season. I totally understand. I would even give Matt LaFleur, a few votes. But if you're asking me who the Coach of the Year is, man, you talk about somebody we've seen the slow build from the very beginning up until now, and Dan Campbell has those boys playing on another level. 12-5 on the season. They won 12 games this year. The Lions were almost unbeatable. Jared Goff has looked incredible this season. It's arguably his best season this is his best season he's ever had. 4,500 yards, 30 touchdowns, 12 picks. Better season than Mahomes. Better season than Josh Allen.
Wise.
As far as what the numbers say. But on the other side, Baker freaking Mayfield.
Dude, kudos to him. I couldn't, like, we understand how cocky he was and confident when he was with the Browns and getting commercials, but, like, you know, sometimes you got to be humbled. And if you don't come back for that, I mean, that's a tough life to live. So the fact that he got this chance with the Bucs and took the most of it, and this team just rallies behind him, super happy for that guy.
Absolutely.
Honestly.
Absolutely. Like, it's Baker, and Baker's a hard guy to like, right? He's not somebody that I think, unless you were an Oklahoma fan, he's not somebody that you just instantly wrap your arms around and say, okay, this is my guy. He speaks my language, man. He had a little Johnny football to him. Just like, you're kind of a jerk, bro.
Yeah.
But, you know,
he's been playing banged up the last couple of weeks too, and it's like when you see that from your quarterback, like that inspires your teammates too.
Toughness. It's like, okay, yeah, Baker, I see it. So I see a different Baker Mayfield than the kid that we saw drafted to the Browns a few years ago. He's turned into the leader that I think the Browns wanted him to be at that point. But now Tampa Bay, I don't know what it is about Tampa and the way they turn quarterbacks from this other person until, like, hey guys, let's play football. Let's do this together. And let's, you know, because Baker Mayfield brought back Mike Evans. Like, there is a while to where Mike Evans was a good receiver.
Well, he's been great. I mean, he has like what, 8,000-9,000 yards seasons in a row now.
But there was a point, even with playing with Brady, it was like, he looks good, but he's not.
He's had some dropsies every couple of years.
There's something wrong. He's among the top receivers in the league right now. And then I'm on Ross St. Brown. Yeah, okay. It's always such a hard name to say, but you know what? You learn to say those names when somebody's as cold as him. And again, Detroit, for the first time since Megatron, has a receiver that they can throw the ball to pretty much whenever they want to. He's always open. Have you noticed that? Have you ever seen him play? St. Brown's always, I was like, oh, okay. There's not like another, well, if you watch the game today, I guarantee he has an opportunity to at least get, his yak is going to be crazy. A couple yards after reception, because it always seems like he's super uncovered when the ball is in his direction. But I love this Lions team. I really like this Tampa Bay team, but I think this is Detroit's time right now.
Yeah.
They should win this game. It's going to be crazy in there. That's what I want to see, because it's going to be rocking in there when that game starts in Detroit.
On the Vancouver Forward text line, I was very alone as a Seahawks fan when I was young in the Jim Zorn years, so I kind of hate the 12s. Lions fans have been there thick and thin. Yeah, they
through all the disappointment.
Yeah,
that's crazy.
Yeah,
that's crazy, and that's why we always root for those franchises that we know have been these lovable losers for a long time.
Right.
The Lions, the Browns, the
Bengals,
the Bengals, the Jaguars. Like, when they get to this situation to where, holy hell, like, they're kind of good. It's almost like, I don't want them to beat my team, but I'm low key rooting for the Bengals to win the Super Bowl. I hope they do. You know, you want to see those teams do that. So yeah, I think with both of these teams now, I don't know if Tampa's maybe become that team that people love to want to hate because they've been successful recently.
I think since Brady's left, like, it makes it a little bit easier. You know, if it was Brady in this position, I think people wouldn't be happy for them at all.
Right now you have a couple guys that nobody wanted. Jared Goff and Baker Mayfield. You know, a couple teams passed on them. We're like, we can go another direction. And I think those teams, at least one of them, found some success as they went another direction. But Jared Goff got a chance to give middle fingers to the Rams last week.
Yeah.
Screw you guys. Yeah. Look what I'm going to do over here. You won a Super Bowl the year I left. I'm going to win one now. And
stark contrast in quarterbacks in these two games, right?
Sure.
With Mahomes and Allen, and then Goff and Baker, like two guys that everybody wants, and then two dudes who basically it seemed like nobody wanted, and then they had to redeem themselves.
And here's the cool part. Considering the weather or the conditions for today's game, I would almost say that this might be as far as the quarterback performances, you might get better performances from this game. Detroit, they play in the dome, right? No, not the dome, not the Carrier. No, excuse me, no, not the dome.
I'm laughing because did you hear what happened earlier this week with the reporter and Todd Bowles?
Uh-oh.
You're pulling that right now.
Uh-oh.
There was a reporter, Jordan, I know we have the audio, so we're gonna have to play it. To answer your question, yes, they do play in a dome.
That's what I thought. I was like, yeah, Detroit plays in a dome, right? That's how much Detroit football, like, we haven't been used to watching, because, like, they still play in a dome, right?
Bud. So, yeah, there was a reporter talking to Todd Bowles this week, and I haven't looked up to see if, like, she is the sports reporter in Tampa Bay or if
No, she's like I think a news person,
The
that got
meteorologist
sent to a sports press conference because they had nobody else, which is frankly insulting to us sports people. But I digress there.
So
nobody's gonna notice.
Do you have the audio ready to go? All right, listen to this.
No. I'm trying to find it.
Oh God! All right, so Todd Bowles, and this happened last year. I was telling Jordan on Wednesday that like he there was someone that asked him because they were playing Mike Tomlin and the Steelers. Like, how does it feel that, two African-American coaches playing against each other or coaching against each other in an NFL game? And he's like, it's not that big of a deal. Like, we're just coaches. And then some, like, white chick pipes up, and she's like, but you do understand how representation matters, right?
No, white lady, tell me about how it matters. Would have been my next question. Yeah, tell me, please. How does it matter?
And Todd Bowles, like, you could tell he was just annoyed, and could have like really eviscerated these people more, and he just chose not to. And it was kind of the same thing with this lady. It was like, I could just rip you apart right now and just make fun of you immensely, but I'm not going to. So yeah, all right, we got the audio. Here we go.
Looking forward towards Detroit. The weather has been a factor in some of the playoff games, even for the most prepared teams. Today, it's 13 in Detroit, which doesn't compare to some of the temperatures we tend to drop to. Any special plans to acclimate the team to not only endure, but perform in those kind of frigid temperatures should you face them in Detroit?
You do know we play indoors, right? And they got a dome.
You do?
I don't. No, nothing planned. We're indoors, and we only have to be outside for 20 seconds getting off the bus going under the thing, so we'll be okay.
I would have loved to see her face after that. I mean, that poor girl. Yeah, if she was thrown to the wolves on that
Tell
one.
me you don't belong without telling me you don't belong.
Rashad,
I'm saying, like, I don't, again.
You were very close to just pulling that same
they play in
move.
the dome, right? Yeah, again, they play in the dome.
He didn't ask the head coach, though, of the opponent coming to that dome at the national press conference.
Wait a minute. And Detroit plays I'm pretty sure they play in a dome, at least on Madden, they do.
Twitter or X or whatever.
But
they're
again,
hiding the identity
the point
of that
is,
person,
Joe, as we get ready to break,
who that is.
The point is that, again, the elements aren't going to be a factor for these two teams. So you might see really clean football played today.
Oh, God. All right, we got to go. We're way over it. Who do you love is next. But first, Jordan Schultz, Sports Center update.
Now, from the Spirit Mountain Casino Sports Desk, a Sports Center update on 1080 The Fan.
First on The Fan, the divisional round of the NFL playoffs in full swing. The Ravens smacking the Texans yesterday, 34-10. The final, Lamar Jackson looking like a true MVP, throwing for 2 touchdowns and running for a couple more. After that, the 49ers coming back to beat the Green Bay Packers, 24-21. The final, Christian McCaffrey leading the way in that one, 98 yards on the ground and 2 touchdowns. Of course, Baltimore and San Francisco playing the winners of today's games. First, the Detroit Lions hosting the Tampa Bay Buccaneers as a 6-point favorite. Kickoff is at noon on NBC. Then the game everyone has been waiting to see this week. The Bills hosting the Kansas City Chiefs as a 3-point favorite. Kickoff set for 3:30 p.m. That one's on CBS. In the association, the Portland Trailblazers back on the court tonight, hitting the road to face the Los Angeles Lakers. The Lakers 10.5-point favorites. Tip-off set for 7 p.m. on Root Sports. More sports scores and stories in 30 minutes. Tom Schulte from the Spirit Mountain Casino Sports Desk. Spirit Mountain Casino is the place to watch and wager on all the pro football playoff action. Learn more at spiritmountain.com.
The inside story on the Blazers, Ducks, and Beavers. Danny and Dusty. Weekdays noon to 3 on the Odyssey app and 1080 The Fan.
Aloha, sports fans. It's Marcus from the 808. How's it, cuz? You busy? Been working too much? Running all around town trying to keep up with the keikis? Shoot, Rat, take a break with 808 Hawaiian Restaurant. Get some island-kind grinds like the Korean chicken, loco moco, or brah, even that Aina burger, soul ono. And don't forget the Mai Tais, pina coladas, or a couple Hawaiian brews. Relax and check out 808 on Burnside, Woodstock, or online at ate-oh-ate.com. I'm Marcus. A hui ho. Mahalo.
So, how's your research going?
Surprising. After I figured out the top-rated TVs in our price range, I went
All right, who do you love? It is slim pickings this week because we are getting to the final rounds of the playoffs. So let's get things started because we're already up against it. Buccaneers, Lions. Detroit is a 6-point favorite. The total is at 49.5. I am taking the Lions to cover. It's 6 points. I think this is where the rubber meets the road for the Buccaneers. They face a nasty Lions defense that's looking to bite some kneecaps off. Lions, they're covering the 6, baby.
I'm also taking the Lions to cover the 6. This Tampa Bay run has been incredible for them this year. Very unlikely. Like we said, it could have almost been New Orleans, playing the situation, but it's not. And it's the Buccaneers. But I think this Lions team has been primed and ready for this moment right here. Give me the Lions.
I'm actually going player prop in this one.
Yeah, as you do.
I love it. I mean, it's kind of been 50-50 for me this year, but the money on these is pretty tasty. Amon-Ra St. Brown is even money to score an anytime touchdown. Golf. Yeah, Jared Goff. His name's really Goff, but I every time, because of Suk, I'll say Jared Goff when I hear him announced on TV. He's going to be connecting with Brown a lot, or St. Brown a lot this week, per usual. So, yeah, anytime touchdown. I think a lot of points are going to be scored today. One of those tutties going to St. Brown.
Real quick to rehash the results from 2 weeks ago, Rashad, 0-3 week, and your Nets couldn't even pull off
the Nets couldn't even beat the Blazers.
I know, that was bad.
Twice. Man. They had 2 chances to beat them, and they couldn't even do it. Go Zers, baby. Fisher with a 3-0 week.
Things are going well in Fisherland.
Michigan money line. That was the one that was a cherry on top. Thank you so much, Michigan, for winning that national championship game. Jordan, you took national championship over 56.5. That did not hit.
Yeah, because Washington didn't score any points.
Yes, that is where they let you down. But you did take the Raiders and Green Bay both to cover their 3-point spreads. They were favorites by 3 points, and you got them both there.
Boom.
Rashad, 11-15-1 on the year. Jordan, 11-16 on the year, and I am 15-11-1. So there is still some ground to make up here
Positive
for you
money
boys.
For you, buddy.
Lions, I took -6. I am just going to play it safe with this Bills and Chiefs game. I'm not even looking at odds because we're just playing with Monopoly money. Just give me Bills money line. Just give me the Bills to get the victory today. And finally kind of break that Mahomes curse that has been terrorizing him for the last few years.
-150. Bills money line.
I don't know, man. I'm taking Kansas City in this game.
To cover? I think, what is it, 3 points right now?
Yeah.
2.5, 3, depending on the book that you got.
I'll give you the hook.
Give him the hook.
Honestly, I just think Patrick Mahomes is just better than Josh Allen. And in these big moments, he continues to play better than Josh Allen has. And, barring some silly referee call, at least in Mahomes' eyes, then I think this should be a win for the bad guys.
Honestly, I'm taking the Bills to win, but I wouldn't mind seeing the Chiefs go into Buffalo and winning that game. I think that'd be pretty badass for them to do that.
Yeah, I think, Mahomes can continue to write his story if he does that.
Yeah.
So to compete today, the Kansas City Chiefs have to get the ball to Travis Kelce. So I'm going another player prop, another anytime tutty. He is +120 to get an anytime tutty. Travis Kelce has to be involved in the offense for Kansas City if they want to score points today. They just, as we were talking about in the last hour, you can go podcast, the Service Patriots podcast, anywhere you get them here on Football Sunday. We just don't think that they've got any other weapons. Kelce's going to have to get involved. I see him actually scoring multiple touchdowns today, but I will go anytime touchdown Travis Kelce today.
How many Taylor Swift sightings or
over?
Oh, that's my next bet.
I'm curious what that
matter.
I'm curious. No, absolutely it does. I'm curious of what that prop bet is as far as how many times they show Taylor Swift.
I mean, I don't think that's an available prop bet, at least on my book. It'll be there if the Chiefs are in the Super Bowl. It'll be there for that.
Absolutely.
Obviously, be one of those tasty little prop bets. But I always bet like the purple Gatorade and those kind of weird prop bets for coaches getting soaked at the end of the game.
Pause.
Taylor Swift. Coaches at the end of the game.
I saw a great, I think it was the 90s WWE Twitter account where it was like Bill's Mafia when they see Taylor Swift on Sunday, and it was the clip of the Dudley Boys putting Mae Young through the table.
Oh, that'd be great.
Which, again, that was all Mae Young's idea.
It was. I'd love to see Taylor Swift be like, yeah, I'll take the table. That'd be awesome. She gained so many more points with everybody if she
Imagine if she broke up with Kelce before today's game, showed up to the game in Bill's garb, and then went went through a table.
That'd be great.
You want to talk about winning over some fans?
Number one album in the world if she did that.
Oh my God. Cover herself in mustard and ketchup like that one Bills fan dude.
She'd have an album's worth of songs just from today's drama.
I'm going to have to find a video clip of you doing that and post it.
Please don't.
That's why you need to watch on YouTube. All right, last one. Let's do it. Let's do player prop bet. Sam Laporta, anytime touchdown. The rookie tight end for the Lions has been on one all year. He's been a little banged up the last couple weeks, but why not? Right? Why the hell not? Again, we're playing with Monopoly money here. I got nothing to lose, baby. 15, 11, and 1. We're good. We're cooking. Laporta, anytime touchdown.
I don't have prop bets up, but I'm going to make another bad decision. And
let me guess, Blazers are going to lose
and the Los Angeles Lakers. The Lakers are a 10.5 point favorite. I think 10.5 might be a little too much.
The streaking Blazers?
Yes, the streaking Blazers. They've got 2 in a row, looking to make it 3. One of those teams is pretty good. They beat the other one was the Nets, and so now they get a chance to play another team that's kind of at the bottom of the barrel, which is the Los Angeles Lakers. 10.5 point
in-season
favorite.
tournament. What the?
Oh yeah, right. Look, and they hung a banner for it.
Does that mean they're really good?
It does not mean they're really good. That in-season tournament was over like December 13th. So yeah, that lets you know it was the beginning of the season tournament. But yeah, Lakers 10.5 point favorites. I don't know if that's accurate, so I'm taking the Blazers to cover.
Blazers covering. Go Zers.
Wow. Good luck with that one. I'm
Jeremy
going
Grant's
with
been on the tear.
I'm going with the same game, the Kansas City matchup against Buffalo, but the point total. That's a lot of points. I know that cold weather doesn't necessarily alone affect the score as much, but 45.5 for these two teams, I feel like that's a lot of points even on a good weather day. So I'll go under 45.5 on the total for KC v. Buffalo.
All right, under 45.5, Kansas City and Buffalo. I hope you're wrong, because I just want to see a shootout. That would be cool to see a shootout between these two teams, like we got a couple of years ago, where it was like 42-36 was that final, where the Chiefs, got that last-minute victory there. Yeah, that would be fun to see between those two teams. But best of luck to both of you gentlemen, and we will wrap the show up next here on 1080 The Fan.
Hey guys, Valentine's Day is coming up. Listen to this deal for
here for that. I was wrong. My Cowboys, they're frauds. I'm done. Not like rooting for them.
Hold on.
I'm not done rooting for them. I'm not pulling that.
Let me turn my camera on so I can get your face as you say this.
It's.
Wait. Okay, go.
You ready?
Yeah.
All right. The Cowboys are frauds, man.
Yes, they are.
They can't be graded off of regular season success anymore, and it all depends on what they do on the playoffs, and they fail. They fail time and time and again. All right, you can stop. All right,
okay. I got all the best parts. It's okay.
Yeah. You can get this on YouTube later, anyways. So, all right.
I just wanted to have that personally on my phone. Just wait. Anytime you start talking about your Cowboys and how great you are, I'm gonna go back to play that.
Oh, dude, it's to a point where like next season, I can't spend as much time watching them on Sundays anymore. Like it will be like, all right, cool. Like they win in September, I'll be like, all right, cool. Let's talk in January. Win in October, big win in October. Like, cool, good win. Let's talk in January.
Are you still going to buy Cowboys garb and stuff?
No, I was telling Jordan on Wednesday, it's my family who does it. They bought, like, one of my sisters or someone bought me Dallas Cowboys shaped ice cube trays. You know how inconvenient those things are to fill? They're all rubber and I'm spilling water all over the place. That pisses me off alone.
They typically melt down in January.
Oh, okay. All right, I'll give you that one. I saw this this Instagram reel that my buddy sent about this dude that lives in Texas, and he named his son Dallas Cowboys. Have you seen that?
Such a mean thing to do.
Have you seen that?
No, I have not.
Pull the lane.
In the video, he's like crying about it too, and he's like talking about he's like, I had to have a conversation with my son because he was getting picked on at school, and I'm like, yeah, no duh. Guy,
you're an idiot.
What are you doing? And he's like, he needs to learn that that's his name, and he needs to be proud of it.
No,
and he'll learn one day to be.
He couldn't have gone Troy. I mean, I love what Suk did.
Troy, Emmett.
How about just Michael?
Michael.
Well, no,
call him Irving. Yeah.
One of Suk's names for his kids is Yzerman, after Steve Yzerman, the great hockey player.
At least the Red Wings won something during that time.
Well, he just Troy. Simply, my son's name is Troy.
My son's
Michael.
name's Jimmy.
There's so many better options than Dallas Cowboys.
Well, I was like, I have to.
My son's name is Prime Time. Just name him that. Like
that's better.
Yeah,
that's an even better.
Man.
I mean, that's like Lane Kiffin naming his son Knox, who was born during his one season that he coached at Tennessee.
Couple weeks at Knoxville.
Knox, and he remembers that forever. Knox, I love you, kid.
Yeah,
stupid name.
And I don't know if it's like his first name is Dallas Cowboys, or if it's like
hyphenated
first name, or if his first name is Dallas and then his middle name is Cowboys.
That's so embarrassing.
I hope that's the way that it goes.
When you're on a date, and that young man is on a date when he's 15, 16, and they're asking all these first date questions like, "What's your middle name?"
Bro,
I don't.
I'm such a fan of the Seattle Mariners, guys. It's gonna be my son's gonna be Jordan Seattle Mariners Schultz Jr. That's where we're going, baby.
Why not Jerry? Huh? Jerry DePoto?
You shut your mouth when you're talking to me.
The best comment I saw in this video about the guy naming his kid Dallas Cowboys goes, for those of you that don't know his son, he went on to almost graduate high school and almost get his driver's license. He also got a job with a lot of opportunity for growth and almost got a promotion. He almost got married and had children. He almost bought a home. He was recently interviewed and asked about his notable failures in life, to which he responded, "That may be true, but this is my year." I'm like, damn it.
Hey, man, just call me DC. What's your name? You're Dallas DC. Don't call me that.
What does it stand for? Damn it.
Doesn't matter.
Daniel Cormier?
Yeah, anything else?
Oh, God. Well, at least I don't get my heart broken this Sunday. That already happened, and we're well past that. So
nowhere to go but up from here, bud.
Hey. Dude, I have nothing to say. I'm done. I can't defend it anymore. And then what do? They retain Mike McCarthy.
They retain him. I don't know if they want to pay that money to get rid of him.
Well, they said that he's got 1 year left on his deal, and that's it.
Yeah.
Like, we'll talk after the season. And he says he's got him at a championship level, just not a world championship level yet.
Yeah, I don't know about that. Yeah.
Oh, God. All right. Well, enjoy your Sunday in peace if you can. Great games today. First one, I think, starts at noon, so you got an hour to do your chores and then lay your ass on that couch and watch football. Thank you, Jordan. Thank you, Rashad.
My guys.
I will see you in 2 weeks because I'm going to Arizona.
Enjoy it, man.
You guys have a good show next week, and I'll join you, I think, for Pro Bowl week.
Let's go.
Yeah. All right.
Flag football.
Thank you, everyone, for listening. Catch you in 2 weeks. Peace.
I would not say that. I wouldn't say it either.
At Shane Company, we believe we're all made to shine. This Valentine's Day, celebrate the love of your life, your best friend, or your best self with unique fine jewelry from Shane Company.